We're going to talk about things that nobody else will. Success leaves clues. And if you're going to make the same mistakes you made when you were a teenager, then you if you want to get good at something, you've got to sharpen your sword. We're going to smash this. A big thank you to Resolution for sponsoring this episode of the Little Bricks Podcast. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the Little Bricks Podcast. So, James, thanks so much for joining us, mate. We're very, very grateful.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure, Lee. Thanks for asking me.
Absolute honour, mate. Thank you so much. So, listen, the Little Bricks Podcast, it's a podcast we do. We want to put as much positivity out there. We speak about the importance of role models. We speak about mental health. We speak about addiction. We speak about the law of attraction, faith, values, a number of things, and different types of people from all walks of life. Business people who sports people. We've had world champions on there. I've just had a pastor on the call. That was an amazing experience. Tell us about you, James, and for people who don't know you, I might be outside the Teesside area, mate.
Yeah, my name's James Rose. I was brought up in Middlesbrough, obviously, in a place called Salterskill. So I'm just a normal borough lad, really. Loved playing football when I was younger, getting up to mischief. Probably more mischief than normal, really. I was a little bit of a tearaway. That's how I can describe myself. But Middlesbrough, great little town. Went to King's Manor School. Went there from there. Left King's Manor School, and I didn't have anything to go to really. So I was just like at loose ends, getting like daft little jobs here and there. Didn't have no outlook on life. Then I decided to join the army. After seeing my brother was in the army, he joined the army at 16. So like I kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps, like seeing the life he was living and stuff like that, and how much like positivity he was bringing and stuff. So that's where my life turned out to join the army. So that was quite good.
Just out of bad coincidence here, your brother's married to Colin's sister, is that right?
Yeah, Danielle.
Wicked, honest, I did not know that until just now. So Colin Harley, my friend I play football with, you've said it there, and two and two together, wow. Because you actually spit an image of him as well. He's a nice guy, he is.
He's all right.
Yeah, apples and trees, mate, apples and trees. Right. So you joined the army, what happened from there then, mate?
So joined the army in 2008. Done 6 month training at Catterick, which was at times it was absolutely horrendous because I was just like I was only like 20-year-old, getting like flung about by grown men and bossed about and stuff. But I absolutely loved it. Like I loved all like the physical part of it and the training. Like the first phase one, there's like two phases. So there's phase one and phase two. Phase one part of the training was probably like very hard for me because I was so unfit. And you just like kind of getting the gist of it. And we went on leave for like 2 weeks and we came back after leave. And all, but for some reason I was just super fit. I don't know if I like that like first like 3 months just made me fit. But when I came back, I was super fit, and I started enjoying it even more because I was fit and nothing. I just thought to myself, nothing can get to me now because I'm fit. And if they're telling me to run, I can run. Where before they were telling me to run and do press ups, I was like dying on the floor.
Yeah, I get you.
But done 6 months training there. Catterick, passed out. Like I've done like a big massive passing out parade, and then I went to battalion, and where we were based in Wheaton Barracks, which is in Blackpool. So you can imagine Blackpool, based there for like a few months. You're literally out on the lash every single night. It was like a bar called Walkabout, which you're probably familiar with. And we named that RV1. So wherever if all the lads will go on out, you'll see we'll meet you at RV1. So RV1 means like rendezvous. So we'll go to the RV1, and it was literally all the full battalion in this walkabout. So all the civilians used to get jealous of us because they think we used to get all the girls and stuff like that. But I don't know how true that was.
Ask you a question on the training, please, Jay. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I've got an image from my head, right? I think about the officer and gentleman when he went through the training and he had that, was it the sergeant major? I think, excuse my ignorance and naivety there, who was like his mentor, and he was a taskmaster and he put him through hell. But he come out the other end, a better person, and he passed. Is that what the training's like? Is it like that type of schooling?
Yeah, so basically when you first arrive at depot, as you call it, you'll get there. And from that moment there, you're constantly getting told what to do. So get over there, get here. And what that's doing is it's installing discipline into you. And when you first go into training, there's people there who are like proper tearaways, like they've come from nothing. They've been in like, I don't know, they've been in bother with the police and stuff like that. So trying to install discipline into someone like that is absolutely rock hard. You know what I mean? And they just don't want to know. But like as time goes on, that's like I said in phase 2, when I went to phase 2 training, like you had this like different mindset. You were like, if someone told you something, like do something, you do it. You know what I mean? It's just like making a bed. Like you're making a bed every morning. I still do it now. That's the first thing I do. I get out of bed and I'll make it. That's just like, I don't know. It's just weird. Just one of them traits. But that's what it is. Yeah, it's like just complete discipline. That's what it aims to do, and it's done loads for me like that. So
amazing that, mate. I seen a conversation with, I think it was a Navy SEAL, a motivational talk. Have you seen it where he went, no matter whatever happens, make your bed in the morning because you have a shit day. Your wife cheats on you, you lose some money, you go home, you go home to a bed that's perfectly made. You can sleep and start again tomorrow, which I thought was fascinating. And you said about your fitness there, you were training so hard, I guess you had good habits, you were living to a certain routine. Is that important for mental health for people who aren't in the military as well, do you feel? Can we learn from that?
Yeah, absolutely. When I don't train or do any sort of fitness, I start eating shit, drinking, and I just feel like a slob, and I just can't be asked doing anything. Don't want to talk to anyone, and you just feel like absolute garbage. So you can understand when people are going out, like I see it on my Facebook, people are going out in the piss. Then on a Monday morning, they're like, oh, can't be bothered. I'm like, well, that's because you've been out in the piss all weekend. So you know what I mean? I've been there, so I can say that. Fitness is definitely, like, that's why I go to the gym. It's for mental health. I don't want to go to get absolutely massive or anything like that. I just go just to keep me on the straight and narrow and just make me think a bit better.
It's superb. I love it, mate. Superb. And then you went to war, right?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we deployed to Afghanistan in 2009. It was September 2009. And I wasn't meant to go. We came back off leave, and obviously there was like a list. There was like a list above the Sergeant Major's door, deployment list. And I was reading it, and I was like, I'm not even on it. And I was like proper upset that I wasn't going to Afghanistan. I was like, that's ultimately that's what you're trained to do. You want to go and defend your country. You don't just want to sit in the block and do nothing. And yeah, I was like, I'm not on it. So I was telling everyone, and everyone was saying, just go in, just slam your tabs in, which means you stand there and you salute and all that, and you tell him that you want to go. So I went in, I told him, and he just went, are you sure, Rosie? I was like, well, yeah. He went, all right then, see you later. When you can go home now, you can go back on leave, you can have another 3 days leave. And that was that. And it didn't even, because I was that young, I just felt like proper naive, you know what I mean? I was just like, all right, I'm going to war. But I remember being on the airplane, going there. It was like a civilian aircraft. Then we landed in Dubai. From Dubai, we got another airplane, a big, massive, I can't remember what they're called, big military one, all the way to Afghanistan. And it was then when it hit me. We were actually on the plane, and they said, right, put your helmets on, put your body armor on. We're about to land now in Kandahar. And it was literally like, you're like 30,000 feet like that, and you just go, and you just fly at the ground dead fast. And the back came down. I don't know if you've seen it, and then the big.
It's like a movie. Yeah. I'm thinking it's like a movie that you've seen this.
So the back comes down, and the heat just hits you, and all the dust, and you sat there and you're thinking, oh God, and that's when it proper hits you, and you just like every man for themselves, you know what I mean? It's just like, right, go and get your kit. You're like, where's my kit? And you start panicking and stuff. And I must have aged about 5 years just from that the plane landing and the back opening. It was absolutely crazy, and that was that. Like we were there for like 2 weeks at start.
You have to know you, Jay. So I'm sorry to interrupt you there, mate. This is really for people listening to this here, right? And this is for anybody like myself, a civilian. You were disappointed you weren't going to war to the point where you went in and fucking pulled some. Was it, what would it have been called? The person you pulled?
It was Sergeant Major. It was my company Sergeant Major.
And you asked to go to war.
Yeah. So yeah, I just said I want to go. I don't know. I was like kind of jealous that everyone was going and I wasn't going. So I was just like, I want to go. I want to get there, and you know, because like you're watching all the news and stuff like that. I'm just like, I want some of that. Like I want to go and experience it. But you know what? I'm glad I did. It's it's one of them, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'm glad I did. There's no regret at all.
You're glad you went, and there's no regrets. I'm going to come to that in a little bit then, guys. So for people listening to this, remember them words. I'm glad I did, and I've got no regrets at all. It's fucking superhuman mental strength, this. Were you prepared for war, Joe?
Not really.
Okay.
I didn't know anything at the time. Like I say, I was young. I was only 20, I think about 21, or just turned 21.
Yeah.
I was just young, naive, didn't have a clue about mental health. I thought if I go there, I'm not the only thing that had happened to me is death. I didn't think I'd come back with no legs. That's it. I just thought I'd go and I wouldn't come back. I didn't think of the after effects or anything like that. And I don't know, maybe if I did think of all that, then I might have thought twice. You know what I mean? But still wanted to do that. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know, it was quite weird. But I've been asked to do talks now and going to the army training centres and stuff like that, and talk to the soldiers about the aftermath of war. But some of them say to me, "You can't say this, you can't say that," and I'm like, "Well, they need to know it. Do you know what I mean? They need to know the after. You can't lie to them, because what's the point? What's the point in doing a talk? Do you know what I mean?" But
what's it like to Afghan then, mate? Because we see movies. We live here in a wonderful environment in a fantastic country. What's life like there? Is it like the movies? Is it like hell?
Yeah, it's how can I explain it? Like, when I first got off that plane, it was basically like an airfield. There was loads of tents. There was helicopters flying about all over. There was planes taking off. There was lads just running about all over talking, groups here and there. Do you know what I mean? Then when we went to a place called Shorabak, and that was like the second line of departure, so to speak. So it was like we went to this camp to do a bit of training before we went out right onto the front line. So we were there for 2 weeks, and when we got flew out on the helicopter, our forward operating base. That was like the movies. I mean, it's weird. I don't know, it might sound cringy to say, but it actually was like, we got in the helicopter, we had our weapons with us all loaded, all geared up, and we were about 100 meters above the ground flying on this helicopter, just like, because obviously the lower you are, then no one can hear you until you're right over them, and you're undetectable, so to speak. So we're like flying like this, and we're like, I'm just like this young lad sat in the back of this helicopter, like looking around like this, thinking, "Oh, this is great. I'm loving this." You know what I mean? But you don't realize at any like moment there, you could just get blown out the sky. You know what I mean? It's weird.
How long were you there before the accident, Joe?
I think it was about 6 weeks, about 6 or 7 weeks. And we went out and we were doing normal routine foot patrols every single day. So each patrol could last for 12 hours. We were staying out. So to walk 500 meters, that'd take about 2 hours, obviously, because you're scanning the ground for IEDs and stuff like that, and you're constantly getting, like, you have like a radio on. You can constantly hear like the Taliban talking in your ear, saying, we can see you, we know what you're doing. They're going here, they're going there. So you're looking around all over, and all of a sudden, it's like you're getting shot at and stuff.
Wow,
it's absolutely mad. And it's just, I don't know, that when we first got contacted, it was I absolutely loved it. Like, adrenaline was just going through my head, and I got like a stoppage. So a stoppage, what that means is you go to fire and it just goes, and you can't fire your weapon. So it was like, Rosie, fucking get that weapon going. So I had like the machine gun. So what I had to do is you had to like stand on the cocking handle to get because it got stuck, got jammed. So I was standing on this cocking handle, getting it down, and eventually I got it working. Then I was just, because the adrenaline was taking over me, I was just like spraying it at the hip like this, like just spraying everywhere. And I put my weapon down for some stupid reason to get over this ditch. And I went to pick my weapon up again by the barrel, and I picked it up by the barrel. The barrel was white hot because there's that many rounds went through it. My hand just like stuck to the barrel, but because there was that much adrenaline in me, I couldn't feel a thing. It was just like, wow. Then when I got back to camp, I had this massive blister on my hand, and it was just, wow, it's absolutely horrendous.
Unbelievable, mate. This is just like, Unbelievable. So it was the Taliban were your main, was the enemy? Was because obviously we've gone through eras, haven't we? Had Al Qaeda, then ISIS coming, but the Taliban were your main enemy at this point.
Well, that's it. Taliban, Al Qaeda, they're all like the same organisation, really. They couldn't kill us by shooting us. So what they started doing is they started planting IEDs in the ground, and they were doing that at night, so we couldn't see them. And if we did see them, we'd shoot them, kill them. The sniper would kill them. Mm. But obviously, you have this. It's called a Vallum, so it's like a metal detector. So you're scanning the area, and if there's any metal in the ground, it'll beep. It'll go beep beep beep. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it got to the point where they were putting actually like no metal at all in the IEDs, so you couldn't find them. So it was just like potluck. You were going out, and if you come back, it was just, you know what I mean, you're winning. But if you didn't, then you're absolutely knackered.
Wow, unbelievable. Did you see any suicide bombing when you were there?
Not so much suicide bombers. We had people come towards us, like in like cars and stuff like that. But obviously, we have to stand there and say, right, stay there. Luckily enough, no one had anything on them. We have to be searching everyone all the time. But when you're searching them, you're like, oh God, you know what I mean? It's like potluck out there. It can happen to anyone.
Wow, it's a suicide bomber. The thought process. Wow. Can we talk about the incident, accident? I don't know. If I'm being disrespectful in any way or lacking empathy, I apologise. I just don't know what would you call it with the incident, accident? What would the incident?
Yeah, just I don't know. Bad day at the office.
Bad day at the office. Well, I've had them, and I haven't been what you've been through. Can you have a talk about it, mate? Is it what it was like, and just go into detail, please?
Yeah, that's it's fine. I remember it. It was a weird day that day. The patrol route it got put back three times. So the first time, the best of my understanding, the first time he was supposed to go out at 9 a.m. But obviously that got changed. We had to put it back again till about 11. That got changed again. So we went for dinner. I remember what I had. I had a sausage with curry on it with chips, my dinner. And we came back, and that's when we were ready to say, right, you're ready to go now. Load your weapons, get all your kit ready to go. We left the front gate, and we were just patrolling, like a normal patrol. It was easy. Well, say it was easy. We just, you know what I mean? You go, you're marking this route out, and we come to like a tree line. It was like a big tree line, like, and it was like a little stream going through it, like a beck. You know what I mean? It's like trees at a beck, and at the side here there was like a big field, like crops, and that's like a massive indicator. If the field hasn't been cut, then that means the farmers haven't been out to cut it because the Taliban are around that area. And obviously that was in the back of my mind. And we come to this stream. We all took a knee, and my platoon sergeant at the time, he said to me, Rosie, right, you ready? You go that way, you go right. Macca, you go left. And so here I go. I had a mate behind me. He was giving me covering fire. So I was like checking the ground for IEDs. And we got to the tree line, which is about 5 meters in front. And I remember like grabbing the branch like this. And I said to my mate behind me, it's dodgy as fucking mate. It's really dodgy. He went, I know, mate, just keep your eyes out, keep your ears open, and just do what you do. So that was it. I took one more step on my right leg. That was it. Just stepped on this pressure plate IED. Completely just blew me into the air, about 5 meters. I landed on the floor. When I landed though, there was no pain there. It was just in proper like proper shock, screaming, shouting. I could see everyone around me. It was dead quiet. Like my ears were ringing like mad. I could just see everyone around me and fucking like panic and stuff like that. And this was going on for about a minute, like the shock, scream, shouting, fucking ass, just going mad. And after about a minute, that's when like the shock kind of settled for a bit. Then the pain like hit me. And I say this to everyone, it felt like a blowtorch, like all over my body. It felt like I was on fire and just like getting hit constantly with a baseball bat everywhere. It was absolutely horrendous. And I remember the lads rushing over to me because I was falling asleep. And I didn't know at the time, obviously, if you close your eyes then it's going to be basically impossible to get you back awake.
Really?
I was just like, going in and out of consciousness, fucking mates punching me, slapping me, pouring water all over me, just and give me first aid. You know what I mean? They had like tourniquets on each legs. At the time, I didn't know he had my legs. I thought I still had them, but I could still feel them. It's a weird feeling. And I remember about 10 minutes into this, when they were giving me first aid, I started shouting, "Have I still got me? Have I still got me crown jewels?" And they were like, "Yeah, mate, it's all still there. It's all still there." I was like, "Oh, thank God for that." Do you know what I mean? And yeah, that was it. The family settled me down, give me morphine. That just, like, the amount of morphine they gave me. I think you only meant to get one jab. I think I had 3, and I was just like, got out of it big time. And they got me on the stretcher, and that was it. Got me on a stretcher. The QRF came. QRF is like quick reaction force. So they come out if anything happens. Basically, come and get you and take you back to camp. We were only about a mile out of camp, so it was pretty much straightforward. But I remember, like, they come and got me and got me back to camp, and that was it. I can't remember now. After that, they put me in the med centre, and the doctors just give me loads of ketamine, and that was it. Woke up in Birmingham. Absolutely mental.
When did you realise you'd lost your legs, Joe?
When I was in intensive care in Selly Oak, because we all got flown back to Selly Oak Hospital in Birmingham. That's where everyone got flown back to. And I remember lying in bed, and I got that gut feeling again, that like I did when I was stepped on the bomb. Do you know what I mean? I got this gut feeling as if something had happened, but I didn't know what had happened. But automatically, I just like sat up and I felt my legs, and I just sat back down. I went, "Oh shit, I've got no legs." And that was it. I kind of like just lied there for a bit and fell back asleep. And next thing I know, my family were there. Yeah, it was quite mad. I remember the nurse coming in. She was, well, my family and that were there. The nurse came in. She said, "Do you want anything?" I went, "Yeah, I want a telly so I can watch the football, and I want some chocolate." So she comes back with all them big old school tellies on the wheels, like she drags it in, big telly, and she comes back with chocolate fingers. And I remember saying to her, I said, "I don't want chocolate fingers, I want some fucking legs." And that was it. I went back out again, and I woke up on the ward. And when they opened my eyes on this ward, there was lads there with like no arms, shrapnel all over the faces. It was like, that was like out of a movie. It was like a scene out of Pearl Harbor or something. It was mental.
So this happens. Is it fair to say that this is when the struggle started then? Because obviously you're losing your legs, the physical pain, torture, life's changed forever now for you. But did the journey start here, mate, with like mental health, and what happened from here then?
Yeah, it was. I was in hospital for like 6.5 weeks. I got out 3 days before Christmas, and I don't know. I had that kind of mindset. Well, I just wanted to be the person I was before I went, and just be a normal person. So we went to my mum has a pub, Saltskill pub. So we went there, and it was massively overwhelming because it was all my mates were there. There was loads of people I know, and I sat there, and I was just like a fragile lad. I must have weighed about 50 kilograms. And someone bought me a pint, so I had this pint, and I was like, "Oh yeah, great." And everyone was just fucking bombarding me, and I was just like proper overwhelmed. Couldn't deal with it. So I was just like, right, I need to get out of here. So that was it. I went. My mum only lives around the corner, so I went around there. That's where I lived for a bit. And when I was in there, that's when the struggles really started. But I just kind of ignored it. My mates knocking on the door, I was telling the wife to ignore them, just saying, just tell them I'm not in, even though they seen me duck, and they're just like, "I'm just seeing him." I just didn't want to see anyone. It was just one of their moments. That went on for quite a bit. Then I was deployed to a place called Headley Court to do my rehab. And basically, this is like a big massive complex in Surrey, and it's just like full of like injured soldiers. Not just through war, just it could be anything during training or anything like that. And when I pulled up to this rehab place, big minibus, I remember pulling up where one of the welfare drivers took me, and I pulled up, and there was loads of lads. I remember them just smoking in the smoking shelter with no arms and no legs, and just taking the mick out of each other and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, this is normal. This must be normal. This, you know what I mean?" I'm like, if he's only got one arm, I've got no legs. I'm saying, I'd rather have no legs. I'd rather have both my arms. So I'm in a better position than him straight away. And I was just like, oh yeah, but if he's happy, I can be happy. You know what I mean? If he can be happy with one arm, then I can be happy with two arms. That's how I went on with it. And we were down there. We were down Surrey for about 4 years. So every day it was like all day. Every day it was training, learning to walk, fitness, physio, all that kind of stuff. And that kind of made me like who I am really. But during that time while I was there, you do like 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. So the 4 weeks I was there, I was training. Then the 4 weeks I was coming home, doing absolutely no drinking, doing all sorts. Then the wife, Naomi, she introduced me to rowing, going at the Tees Rowing Club. I was like, no, I'm not going. Because I was like big then. I was like, I think I weighed about 18 stone, something like that. It was really, really
weight on. So it's obviously using your legs to put the weight on, right?
Yeah, I was quite big, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to go rowing, because I didn't want to make a fool of myself, like get on the rowing machine, do a few pulls and die. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, she. If it wasn't for her getting me introduced to rowing, I don't know where I'd be right now, because that absolutely like changed my life. Straight from then, I started rowing, and that was I just started going up. Didn't look back. It's just like it's like a power sport, so to speak. I don't know, it might sound cringy, but you have you focus on something. You have like an end goal, and it just makes you a better person.
Unbelievable, this is just fucking like mind blowing. I'm like edging my seat here. Can you talk about your wife, please? See what type of person she is and how important she, as long as your family, has been in your journey?
Yeah, I was on my last few days of leave from the army in April, Easter leave, and I actually met Naomi in Retro in the Empire. I was in there. I had about 5 drinks in each hand, giving it the big licks, and I was going up to her. I was like in the face and stuff, going, and actually, I was saying to one of her mates, "Can you give me your number?" She was like, "No, she doesn't want to know you. She doesn't want to know you." So I was like, "All right, fair enough." Left her alone, and I was sat outside against the wall smoking a fag, and she came out. She went, "Hey, all right." I was like, "Yeah, you." And that was it. We started talking for a bit, and that was it. I walked home, got a pizza, walked all the way from the town all the way to Salt Skull. She had no money, so I blew it all on drink and pizza and stuff. So, but a few days later, I got a text, I got a text saying, "Hey, you're all right? Do you fancy going out?" So I was like, "Oh, yeah, let's go out." I couldn't remember what she looked like. I didn't have a clue, so I was blind drunk. So we arranged this date, and I'll never forget it. I was coming on from the army. Went to Chris the barber's. I went to get my haircut. Went in there. I had my uniform. Got my haircut. Went home. Got ready. Then I went and met her. And I remember driving down the road in the taxi, and I said to the taxi man, "Just keep. I'll tell you to stop or not. You know what I mean? If she's all right, stop. But if not, keep on going." And I was pulling up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, stop, definitely, yeah." So it was mad that day. We went to the Star. I don't think it's there anymore now. We went to Star, the Dickens, and we went to near the cornhouse. I don't even think that was open, but we were doing something down there, and we ended up in the back of a police car for some bizarre reason. I was going, "Oh no, don't! I'm going to Afghan soon. Leave me alone. Let's go." But they let us go anyway. I don't know what was going on. But yeah, anyway, that's how we met. And like 2 months later, we were on holiday, went to Turkey. It was quite weird. Everything just happened dead fast. So we met each other. Then we were in Turkey. Then next thing you know, I'm in Afghan. I'm getting blown up. And I don't know, like from that moment there, like getting injured and stuff like that, she didn't think, "All right, he's got no legs, look at him." She just thought he's still the same person. And she's been like an absolute rock to me. And if it wasn't for that, I'd probably be dead. I tell that to everyone. She's always there. I don't know, she deserves a medal. If I'm being honest, you know what I mean? I've been hard over the times, over the years. But yeah, she's an absolute rock. If it wasn't for her, then definitely wouldn't be here. She's definitely my rock, the inspiration.
It's unbelievable, mate. Honestly, I'm blown away. Thank you. Fucking hero. So your wife introduced you to rowing. Was that a plain sailing journey, or did you have challenges there? Did you have to go through pain, and was that, did you just take to it? What was that journey like?
Yeah, I had to. I don't know. I suffer like with I don't know, like social anxiety, sort of like kind of thing. So meeting new people and stuff. At the time, anyway, it was like very hard. I was like shy, and I didn't want to do anything. It's quite weird. I don't know if you've ever felt like that, but
Yeah.
but yeah, the rowing it was rock hard at first. I was so unfit, but as you get into it, you start getting like obviously the more you get into things, the easier it gets. And I had my coach. He was coaching me, and I had like this. She had this goal for me. So within like 2 months, there was like an indoor rowing competition in Scotland. So I was like, right, okay. It's like, James, you're gonna go and do that. So we're gonna set your training plan up, and we're gonna train you for that. So I was like, all right, great. You know what I mean? He had like another goal. So we were doing this, doing all this training like twice a day and stuff like that. It wasn't too bad. It was just enough at the time. And we went to Scotland and we done this indoor rowing competition. We done that. There was only 3 of us because it was like para rowing, you know what I mean? It wasn't that many. And I came second out of 3. So I was quite chuffed for that because I got a PB as well. So I was like, right, I'm buzzing with that. Got a personal best. So that's an achievement for me. And at the end of it, the talent ID coaches came over from the GB team, and they said to me, we want to train you with an end goal of represent your country at the Paralympics. So I was like proper blown away. So I went from like all this shit in like Afghan within like, I don't know how many years, about 5 years, to this point now where where the GB want me to train with them. And that was it. Like I said, that's the rowing like completely changed my outlook on life. I went from doing absolutely nothing to doing this, and yeah, unbelievable.
You are unbelievable, mate. You're unbelievable. What have you gone on to achieve since then, mate? Because obviously, for people from TSAB aware, what you've gone and done is just like superhuman. But what achievements have you gone out and done since you took the role up?
Yeah, so obviously the rowing that was my life. Rowing. I ended up doing a trial for GB, which but during my time rowing, I capsized on the River Tees, and I couldn't get out of the boat. I couldn't get out of the boat, so I had my prosthetic legs on. And the boat, there's called a rigger on the front of the boat where your blades go in. That just slid straight off. Completely came. It's not meant to come off. Just come off, and I tipped over. I was proper panicking. Couldn't get out of the boat, and I was nearly drowning. And instead of just undoing the straps, I was like coming up for air and I was smashing my head on the side of the boat, like not intentionally, just like trying to get up and get air, but I couldn't get air. And everyone was just looking like this, like, oh, what do we do? I was right in the middle of the water. No one was coming to help me. And that's like, I started getting flashbacks again. I was like panicking. Then I just like, I don't know, I just took a massive deep breath and went, right, calm down, put the straps off and you'll float up. So I did that and I floated to the top. And yeah, that's 2 days later, I was straight back on the water again doing that. But like over time, like the months, it was getting worse and worse. I started getting anxiety over it. I started getting depressed over it. Didn't want to. I was making excuses because I couldn't bear to look at water anymore. That's what I'm saying. Then when it came to my GB trial in like December, at that point I was shaking like shit and dog in this boat, and you're not meant to be. You're meant to just relax. And all I could think about was going under again and drowning. And it came to the point where I said to my coach, look, I can't do it anymore. And he was like, what's wrong? Like, I was like, I told him, and I broke down, started crying, shaking, white. It was just a big, massive relief off my shoulders just by telling him that. But yeah, like after the rowing and stuff like that, it was right, what can I do now? I just wanted something else to do. So it was like a charity bike ride coming up for a military charity, Blesmer they're called. So I was training to do this bike ride. And do you know them? Have you seen them hand bikes? We basically like them. So I was on like a training day by myself, and it was over Farnaby Industrial Estate. I used to go around there on my own, and I was about 10-20 mile in, about 20 mile. And I remember stopping at this junction on my bike, and I seen a car come towards me. It comes towards me, and I think he's getting closer to him. He's getting closer and closer. And he fucking comes straight over me, runs me over. And he's literally dragging me down the road, and I'm like screaming my head off, saying, "Fucking stop!" And eventually he stops. And I'm just like, "Oh God, what's going on here?"
Wow.
And like 2 weeks later or something like that, I done the bike ride, completed it. Done about 70 miles of it out of the 100. Had like a fractured wrist, was all knackered in.
From that accident, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you lucky to survive that? Another incident you were lucky to survive?
If I had my legs, then I probably wouldn't have my legs now off that, because
Wow.
literally just, it was that close to my face, like the tire. It just went there, like tipped me on the side, and it was dragging me about 20 meters down the road. I was in, it's absolutely mad. I set myself right. I'm still going to complete the bike ride because I said I'm going to do it. So I've done as best as I can. Then I finished that. Then I was like, right, I need something else to do. I want something else to focus on. And that's when the Invictus Games came about. And so I applied for that. I was successful getting in the team. So I was absolutely ecstatic. We went to Sydney. We done wheelchair basketball. We got a bronze medal in basketball and a silver medal in sitting volleyball. And yeah, that was when we done that. I was just like, right, I can do anything I want now. I felt like invincible. I don't know. I just got my confidence was like right up here. Just felt unbelievable. Then we came home in about November. There was something on telly. It was called Extreme Everest with Ant Middleton. I'm proper obsessed with like mountains and Mount Everest especially. I was watching this thing, Program Everest, and I posted on my Facebook saying I'd love to climb Mount Everest, mate. Even if I've got no legs, I'll give it a go. And my mate from the Invictus Games, he rang me up and he said, why don't we do Kilimanjaro instead? So I was like, all right, yeah, okay. I thought he was taking the mick. I just thought he was joking. About 3 weeks down the line, he got back in touch with me and he went, so right, I've done this, I've planned that, I've planned this. I was like, he's not even joking, he's telling the truth and he really wants to do it. Then about another 2 weeks after that, he said, right, do you want to do it? Do you definitely want to do it? And that's when he had to think myself, do I want to do this? I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. And I just said, yeah, let's do it. Sod it. What's the worst that can happen? Just completely wing it. And we did that, all the training, stuff like that. I think I only climbed one mountain before I got up there. That was Helvellyn in the Lake District. And yeah, that was after like a week in Ibiza as well. I got up Helvellyn. God knows I would have done that. It's all Ibiza for me, and somehow I got up there. But yeah, the Kilimanjaro, that's absolutely my biggest achievement I've to date for me. Like 5 days of just like pure hell, really. Every day was like, well, the first day was 9-hour walk. The second day it just got longer and longer, so it was like 12, and it was 14. Then the last day, like walking up the mountain, that was like 15 and a half hours. So it was just like.
Does this cause severe pain? Does this cause you, obviously, physically what's happened, it must cause severe fucking pain to your body when you're doing this?
Yeah, it's you get blisters. That was the main thing. The blisters were that big and sore. I was like, it was taking my mind off the tiredness. So I was thinking about the blisters more than my tiredness. So I was like thinking, right, I've got blisters here, but I wasn't thinking about being tired. So I was going a bit faster. So when I was feeling tired, I was thinking about the blisters. I don't know, it's weird.
Where would the blisters be, James?
Like right on the end of my stumps, right in my. Because you wear you've seen prosthetics. It's basically like a carbon fiber cup, and it goes right up to your groin. So all on my groin there, all on like my ass, just everywhere. Like proper sore, but I don't know. It's like I say, like when you're tired, it kind of takes your mind off it. You're thinking about other stuff. Trying to focus on it.
You've got the strongest mindset. Honestly, mate, I've seen world champions, billionaire business people I've been lucky enough to speak to. I've never met anybody with a stronger mindset. This is just mind blowing to me. So how do you train your mind and what do you do? Because you read a lot of books, you get how do you get this mental strength here? Because it's fucking superhuman.
I don't know. It's hard to answer that one. I don't know. I'd say I don't know, because I've been through that much stuff in my life. Mainly everything's mainly happened since when I got blown up and stuff like that. But obviously when I was younger, I was a little tearaway. quite tough. Do you know what I mean? Like fighting and stuff like that. Didn't let no one like boss me around, all that type of stuff. But I don't know. I think the strength and it's like that mindset. I think it runs in the family. Because I was speaking to my mum before, and she was saying like she was talking about my aunties and my nana and stuff like that. My nana's passed away, and she was saying they're so strong. Like our family, like mentally, nothing can hurt them. So I think it just runs in the family. I'm not quite sure. I've only ever read one book in my life, and that's Bear Grylls. That's Bear Grylls' life story. I don't know. I just think I just try and make a net like bring a positive out of a negative all the time. So if so much shit happens, then just think, right, what can I do to make that better, so to speak.
What would you say to people who are struggling with mental health at the minute, mate? Because we had a chat before this, and I've been there. And we try and self-medicate. Man was the drugs, and then you lose yourself, and it becomes more than a habit to an addiction, and it's pain. It's pain. It's a fucking dark place. What would you say? Because our town here, we've lost a lot of lads, and then obviously you'll have seen many people who you were in the army with and went to war with, sadly, who suffer from depression and mental illness. What would you say to lads who lads and lasses who are struggling from mental illness before suicide becomes an option? Because sadly, it is a real thing now, isn't it? Yeah,
I'd say looking back on my experience, I'd say the main one is just tell someone. As bad as I don't know, as shit as it sounds to yourself, like, oh, why am I telling them this? It's probably petty, isn't it? I don't need to tell him this, or I don't need to tell him that. If you tell someone there, they'll be like, oh yeah, there's red flags straight away. You can just definitely, that's the main thing is tell someone straight away. Once you've done that, there's like the little bit of weight comes off your shoulders. Then you can start opening up and doing other stuff, like going to the gym, eating healthy, all that type of stuff. Definitely, the main thing for me is having goals. You know what I mean? You have goals, set the goals, have something to aim at, have a purpose in life. Don't just be like going to work on Monday to Friday, going out all weekend, repeating that, because you're just getting that vicious circle. It's absolutely horrible. So the best thing to do is just set yourself a goal in, I don't know, about like for me, it's climb a mountain. If I can focus on climbing that mountain, I can train towards that. And once I've done that, I'll come back down and I'll do something else. I'll settle again. I'll say, right, I'm going to go and do that one. So, I don't know, goals, definitely go get yourself to the gym, just speak to people, eating healthy as well. Eating healthy is massive. Eating people like, I don't know, I used to do it. You could be smashing pizzas in here, parmos, all that type of stuff. And it just makes you feel sluggish and you can't bother getting out of bed in the morning. It's not nice.
Can I ask you listen, if I'm close to the bone here, mate, just say fuck off, Liam, answer that. Have you had moments, because I have, when it comes to suicide, where you've thought, I'm going to do it, fuck it. Have you ever had any suicidal thoughts throughout your multiple challenges?
I've had a few, yeah. They just pop into my head. I don't know, you could be having a good day. Then like, if I'm having a good day, I say to myself, like, I'm having a good day now. What's going to come along and fuck it up? Someone's going to fuck it up. I know it is. Someone's going to make me unhappy and it's going to make me fucking shit all the time. That's how I think all the time. And it's mainly when I'm driving. Like that. I don't know, something daft will come into my head. I'll just think, all right, fuck it. Now I'm just going to drive into that tree there. I'm just going to keep on going. I don't know, mate. It's just weird. I don't know if you've ever read them thoughts like that. They just come into your head, which shouldn't be there anyway. They just fucking pop in, and then that's it. You're like, oh fuck. You know, but anxiety is a big one for me as well. I suffer badly with that. Just the slightest little thing can get you. Do you know what I mean? And that can turn you as well. It's mental health. It's a big thing, isn't it? It's a big thing. People don't know how to like deal with it if they can't see the signs. Main telltale signs if you're doing something completely different to what you normally do, like drinking too much, eating too much, not going out, stuff like that. That's when the red flags start to come along.
Of course, yeah.
People need to realise that.
They do. And my old fella, make sure you know my old fella from the gym, and he's asked me to ask a story that I'd like you to tell, because he said it just defines who you are as a person, which is just a hero. That much is absolutely unequivocal. Something about having flat tyres in the car park out of all the posh cars in this fucking car park at David Lloyd's.
Yeah.
It was flat tyres. And what's the story behind that then, Matt?
No, it's actually on me. on my wheelchair. I remember coming into the gym. Well, it was early doors before work. It was about 7:30. Like, all right, mate. Yeah, sound, yeah. When I've got a flat tire on my wheelchair, haven't I? It was like, oh yeah. I was like, it's not the flat tire what's bothering me. It's like the fact that I have to do my workout now. We have to go and get a shower, or then go and get a new tire, fit the tire, put it on, then do my normal daily day things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I went to the gym today, and it's happened again, Annie. I was like, look, on the opposite side. I said, I've got a flat tire again.
Yeah.
I'm just like that. It's a nightmare. I know, mate. It's not the tire. It's the actual fact that you have to go out your way and try and sort that fact out. But it's just little things like that can like completely just mess your day up. But just choose to laugh it off. What's the worst that can happen? It's only a tire.
That's what he said. You laughed it off. All the posh cars in his car park was it Mercedes and Bentleys, and a wheelchair gets a flat tire. Would you believe? And you turned it into a bit of a joke. And I just think that it's a wonderful way to deal with adversity, isn't it? Because adversity is going to happen. Life is fucking hard. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's our perspective and how we deal with things that makes the real difference, you know. And I mean, look what you've been through. You're just an advocate for that.
Yeah. That's it. Like you say, adversity. You just need to don't take life too serious. I think the more you take life serious, and just the more you're going to be like have a chip on your shoulder. Try and relax a little. That's how I see it. Now I've been through that much shit. Now I just like what the hell, you know. I know what's important to me, and I'll just keep on doing that.
Amazing, mate. You're a hero. What's next for you then, James? What's your next challenge? What's your next goal? Because it seems to be you're goal oriented. You need a challenge.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to be in North Africa now. We were supposed to set off on Friday to climb Mount Tubkal, but obviously COVID's about, and we didn't want to take the risk of going up and getting caught over there and stuff. So we've had to postpone that till June next year. We were supposed to climb. So instead of doing that, we said, right, instead of going to North Africa, which we can't, we postponed it, we'll do Ben Nevis instead. So we meant to go to Ben Nevis on Friday, but one of the lads who was climbing with us, he's got COVID as well. So we had to cancel it. So the next challenge it'll be obviously it'll be in the UK. So we're going to go out in the middle of October, probably Ben Nevis again, or Scafell Pike, which is the highest one in England. So that's the next thing to aim for. So that's like in the back of my mind. So good thing to do.
What are you doing work-wise now, James?
I work for a security company called SSGC, and I'm like the area recruitment manager. So I recruit for all the sites across the northeast, Stafford, Nottingham, Doncaster, Catterick. So I have to manage all them sites, which it's quite challenging. It's quite good. I'm quite enjoying it.
Good for you. Are you going to put this into your story, into a book? Are you going to tell your story?
Yeah, I'm bringing a book out actually. It's near enough finished. So the guy who's helped me write it, he's been pretty ill. So I wouldn't say he's knocking on. I'd say he's about 70, but he's got problems himself, health issues. But he's helped me. He used to be a teacher, so he's pretty clued up. But he's helped me write it. So I'm hoping to have it out in probably December. Hopefully, I think that the hardest part for that'll be is getting everything on Amazon, because I'm self-publishing it, and I'm not very good with like technology and stuff like that. So I'll have to try and figure that out.
I'm sure you will, mate. You figure everything else out with life, don't you? So I'm sure you'll find a way. It's what you seem to do in life. Yeah. What's the one message, you know, when we go to heaven and people talk at your funeral? What do you want that one message to be about you? What do you want people to say about your life?
It's a tough one, isn't it? He just lived it how he wanted to. I don't know. Always happy. I'll try to be happy. Always like outgoing, stuff like that, which I am really. That's how I'd like to describe myself. Outgoing, happy. Just go with the flow. Really, I don't take life too serious, and just do what makes you happy.
Amazing. Listen, mate, we'll look out for the book. Where can people follow you on social media and find inspiration? And obviously, when the book comes out, they'll learn more about
that. I'm on Instagram. James7Rosie. That's my Instagram name. Facebook, which you've got me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But when my book's out, I'll be posting it on there and stuff like that. So you'll be able to see it on there.
Amazing, mate. Listen, I'm blown away. I've learned so much there about resilience, about humility, about courage, fighting back. your mental health, your struggles, how open and honest you've been. You're a proper hero, mate. Thank you so much for giving me the honour of coming on.
Thanks for your kind words, mate. But honestly, it's like you asking me to come in here, that just gives me an opportunity. It's like, I don't know, tell my story and hopefully help someone. So if it helps one person, then we're winning, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I think that says everything about you as a man, mate. So listen, James Rose, absolute hero, mate. I'm honoured to have met you. I'm honoured to have had this conversation and to continue being your mate. This is wonderful. So thank you so much for coming on the Little British podcast.
Cheers, Lee. Thanks for having me, mate.
Thanks, mate. God bless. Up the borough.
See you later.
Cheers, pal.